Right. Oh, the BC started over 600,000 candidates this morning will take part of that exam. What are we saying to the candidates, WAEC, the vigilators, the supervisors and all?
Good morning to our cherished viewers, Nana. We can, at this stage, only wish them the very best as far as the exam is concerned. And also hope and pray that they are given the needed assistance to go through the exams peacefully and without any major incidents that likely can threaten the integrity of the process. And when I say the integrity of the process, it has to do with the ability to stay true to the regulations governing the conduct of the exams and ensure that they don't cheat through the process. But you see, Nana, we've all been through that stage of educational development. And I realized that the education minister, since Saturday, has been moving from basic education, no, I should say maybe junior high school to another. Especially, I think last night, cameras caught him around the Bono region, where he was trying to assess the preparedness of the educational establishments as far as the exam is concerned. And one thing stood out: the deplorable nature of our educational infrastructure, especially at the basic level. I simply could not believe the pictures that I saw. The terrible, terrible, terrible infrastructure that we are subjecting people who will call future leaders of our country to. And I'm told that even the education minister, the Honorable Haruna Idrisi himself, was shocked at the level of deploration, at the level of deterioration characterizing many of these infrastructures that he visited. And knowing him, I'm quite convinced that it will occupy his thought once more. Maybe we have gotten to a stage where government should consider renovating at least many of these institutions.
There are over 5,400 schools under trees.
Yes, yes. And even before you move to the issue of resolving schools under trees, it is important for us to demonstrate commitment by renovating those that are existing.
Right.
And so I want to see commitment on the part of the Minister of Education, which I don't doubt, because knowing him, he is a man who is always interested in leaving a legacy. So I'm pretty much convinced that the Honorable Haruna Idrisi will do the needful. Hopefully by next year, if our budget will make room for that, we must consider the possibility of renovating many of these schools, because look, it doesn't speak well of our nation. I simply could not believe that these were institutions within areas like Bono region. Because many of us from the north, unfortunately, we should not be the norm, but we are used to it growing up. We sat and studied under deplorable conditions. Conditions that we shouldn't be proud of as a nation. But we thought that many of these things could be found only in the northern sector. But to see many of these things, even in Greater Accra, the nation's capital, is clearly unacceptable. So we must have a holistic plan to develop, or more or less make these institutions fit for human habitation. Look, I have been a teacher before. I've had the privilege of teaching in Yendi, Presby Primary and the likes. Even those days, our infrastructure wasn't the best. So one would be hoping that as we develop as a country, many of these things will become better, but that unfortunately is not the case. Such surroundings, we may not know, has serious psychological impact even on the minds of our students and their ability to compete effectively with other well-established schools within these vicinities. Because whichever way you look at it, undoubtedly there are better private schools within these catchment areas. So even before you walk into the exam hall, your mind tells you that Mr. A's child is going to perform better than you, because even his school is far, far nicer and more attractive than the government school that you are attending. So there's the need for us to work on these things. We should not be exposing our future leaders to these kinds of memories that they would have to grow out with. I think the time has come for government to take it seriously. And not just this government, I think that even future governments must prioritize basic education and put in the needed resources to at least make it attractive to many of our compatriots out there.